Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Eh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We're from group 3. My name is Muhammad Yafi Gustaf and my partner Muhabibi. We want to present our presentation. The title of our presentation is Accountability and Access Control. First is access control. What is access control? Access control is a relationship that occurs between the subject and the object. The subject is an entity, can be human, computer, user, application, or process that access an object, while the object is an entity that can inform of application, data process, or computer accessed by the subject. The access that occurs between the subject and the object must be controlled for the purpose to protect the object. The protection provided has a basis in accordance with security management principle, namely confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Access control is need to protect confidentiality, integrity, and object availability as well as data. Access control can also be set to ensure the user provide valid username and password to get the permission to access object and restricted to other resources outside the right of access. Next is the identification and authentication. Identification is the process of recognizing the identity of subject that has been shown before the system starts the process of authentication, authorization, and accountability. Granting of identity to system can be done by writing the username or swipe the smart card. Hence, the identity to the subject usually the public information. And then the authentication verify the identity of the subject by comparing again data that's stored in database. Hence, the actual authentication process is the process of providing personal information, subject and system abilities to maintain the confidentiality of the authentication element used to identify clearly describe the level of system security. Identification and authentication always go together as a single process, provide identity and provide authentication to gain access to the system. Next is type of access control. Type of access control can be defined by two, based on utility and based on its implementation. Based on its utility, the type of access control also divided by 7. First is preventive access control. This is used to stop and prevent unwanted or unauthorized activity. For example, we can use lock, fan, biometric, work rotation, data classification, etc. And next is deterrent access control. Deterrent access control is used to minimize the security policy violation. In case the preventive access control not available, we can use this deterrent access control to minimize it. For example, we can use audit, firewall, encryption, etc. And next is the detective access control. Detective access control is used to find unauthorized or unwanted activity. For example, we use the honeypot, IDS or intrusion detection system, user review, and sound detector. So next is the corrective access control. Corrective access control is used to return the system back to its normal state before unwanted activity occur. For example, we can restart the computer or using antivirus or business continuity planning and security policy. Next is recovery access control. Recovery access control is used to repair or restore resource, function, and capabilities after a security breach. So for example, in this is backup and restore, server clustering, database shadowing, database lock and shipping. Next is compensation access control. Compensation access control is used to provide the various alternative options to support security policy. For example, here we can use monitoring, work procedure, personnel supervision, etc. And the last is directive access control. Directive access control is used to direct, limit, control the action taken by the subject to comply with the security policy. For example, notification, security training, watchdog, and etc. So next, based on its implementation, access control divided into three types. First is administrative access control. It's the policy and procedure defined by organization to implement and ensure overall access control. For example, policy, procedure, data classification, personnel control, and many more. And next is logical or technical access control. Logical access control is a software or hardware mechanism used to regulate access to resource and system and provide protection for this resource and system. For example, we can use encryption, smart card, password, protocol, firewall, etc. And the last is the physical access control. Physical access control is a physical barrier that is used to prevent physical contact between subject and object. For example, swipe card, alarm, door with the key code system, fan, and many more. So next is the accountability process. There are 4 steps of analysis for accountability process to connect the account with the rights the user has. Step 1 is the identification. Identification is the process of identifying a subject with an identity, that associating that identity with its rights. For example, we can use the username or ID. Next step is the authentication. Authentication is the process of verifying or testing whether the identity given is valid identity. So there are 3 different types of authentication that usually used. So the type 1 is something you know. Something you know is a set of characters that user remember. Can be reverting using a keystroke like PIN, word combination, or user mother name, or something that user remember. Next, the type 2 is something you have. Something you have is the physical device that are within the user control and must be shown during the authentication process, like smart card, memory card, USB drive, and many more. And the type 3 is something you are. It's the part of physical body of the user like fingerprint, face recognition, retina scan, and many more. So within these 3 types of authentication, the authentication type 1 is the most easy to implement, but is the most weak one. And the type 3 is the hardest to implement, but also the most secure one. So you can combine all 3 types of authentication if you want to have the most powerful security. Next is the authorization. Authorization is each user who perform the authentication can be given the right, which are determined by authorization or granting of access right. The authorization process ensures that the requested activity is allowed to be assigned based on the authentication identity. Evaluation of what rights are granted to user can be done using the access control matrix, which compare the given subject, object, and activity. If a certain action is allowed, then the subject will given authorization, and if the action is not allowed, then the user is not authorized. So there are the So there are matrix access control matrix table in here. So as you can see in here, there is subject, object. So for example, there is Unil, the user. The document file, Unil has the right to read the document file, but have no access to printer and no access to sharing folder. And Usro have no access to document file, no access to printer, but have access to read, write, and execute the sharing folder. And Melanie has right to read and write the document file and have the right to print to printer and have the right to read, write, change permission on the sharing folder. So next my partner Muhabibi will continue the presentation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this session, I will continue the presentation. And here we will discuss about password. And on this session, password have a main type. Honestly, the first type is static password. The second type is dynamic password. And number 3, computer generated password. And number 4, passphrase. And the last is cognitive password. We'll discuss about static password. Okay, this is a simple definition about static password. Static password is you can never change your password. This is simple. You can never change your password. And dynamic password, you can change your password every time. And I think dynamic password is better than a static password. And number 3, a computer generated password. Computer generated password is the computer will give you a password by random. So you will get a password, a new password by the system computer. And I think it's hard to remember because the computer create a new password for you. And the next, passphrase. And the passphrase is that combination by a character, by a number, and by the symbolic for the password. And the last, cognitive password. The cognitive password in here, the answer by question. Maybe if you play a game right now, I have a game. If you want to reset your password, you should answer the question before. The question, you create the question. What do you want? Maybe when your birthday, when you born, what's your address. That's the question you should answer before you reset the password. That's a cognitive password. And we're going next, biometric. In here, biometric is an identification and authentication, a technique that is included in the category something you are. That's something you are. Biometrics uses behavioral characteristics and psychological characteristics that are unique to the subject. In here, the biometric have many types like a password. The biometric have a fingerprint, have a face recognition, iris scan, retina scan, and others. I will show you what is a fingerprint. And here, my phone here, I'm using a fingerprint over here, the fingerprint. If you want to unlock your phone, you should tap the fingerprint and your phone will be unlocked. It's same by face recognition. If you want to unlock your phone, you should using a system face recognition to unlock your face by your face. And we're going to next. In here, we discuss about token. Type of token. The first is static token. For the example, the static token is a swipe card, smart card, floppy disk, USB dongle, or key. And the second is asynchronous dynamic password token. This type of token generates a password based on the occurrence of an event. Something events will prompt the user to press a specific button on the token and next pressing a specific button on the authentication server. And number three, a challenge response token. This type of token generates a password or response based on instruction from the system authentication. The authentication system will present a challenge, usually typed from code or passphrase. And the last, a synchronous dynamic password token. And number two, asynchronous, and in here, synchronous dynamic password token, and that's different. All right, and this type of token generates a password at a fixed interval based on the HOR files on the authentication server and the clock on the device to sync with the resulting password is entered in the system using a PIN, passphrase, or password. Okay, next. In here, we will discuss about SSO atau single second on. A single second on or SSO is a mechanism that allows subject to be authenticated only once on a system and then can access resource without repeat authentication mechanism. I will explain to you the single second on. It's like, I think, my opinion, it's like I think Microsoft login. If you want access the Word, if you want access the PowerPoint, the Excel, you should log in before. So you can log in by Word by Microsoft, your account Microsoft before, and then you can access all of them, the feature by Microsoft. I think just like that, a simple SSO, I think. And going back, thank you very much and see you next time.